Quite possibly. That's not a bad call at all. But that's another subject altogether. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, our final best of 3 of the day. North versus Avangar. I guess you have to say North are the favorites going in here, but Avangar, there's such a team where you don't really know what to expect each time, and the odds coming through suggest it's going to be quite an equal affair, actually favoring Avangar there. I guess the odds speak for themselves. It's on GG.BET if you want to check them out and get involved. And we are off. Avangar with the PD50, the one smoke, the flashbang, and we'll see if they can get things rolling. As they leave the bomb and T-spawn, it's a very default approach that they kick things off as they just hunt for a little bit of intel here. It's Gade with the smoke and the diffuse kit as they wait for any sort of aggression here. Avangar being very tentative with their approach.
Avangar with the signing of Fitch as well. Had a brief period inside of Gambit when they were the defending major winners after Zeus obviously left to rejoin Na'Vi. He was the man they went to. Has tons of fragging potential, but they didn't stick with him mostly due to a leadership issue. Eventually, that was filled by Adren. Adren's now moved on. It's on to Doja. They've moved things around quite a bit. Volda, Gade, they're going to start it off. Fitch and Quicker go down quite immediately. Very fast on the A site. Still, though, the approach to B. It's all on Chrisian to try and open it up. He can't do so. Baum was trying to approach. It's going to subside and work back through spawn because James is the only hope. It's a 1-on-5. Very little damage done. In fact, only 9 to Volda to start it, and he has 2 kills from that CT position.
Well then, bust up. Not really sure you'll be doing much of this one, my friend. He's got the bomb. If you can get that down somehow, that'll be a miracle in itself. 5 versus 1, barely any damage inflicted. Gade even kept his smoke. So it's all looking quite rosy for North right now. It looks like this pistol will be ending momentarily. Will there be a kill found, though? Absolutely there will. Valda goes down. A couple of kills, so not a complete waste of a round here. He might even get the plant of this.
That's the key. He's not going to win the round. That looks almost gone, and they're going to concede that. I think Katie needs to peek that for information at that point because, again, we talk about it. He's not like, he's made it expensive. Gets himself some extra frag money, but that bomb going down is $800 extra for each of his teammates in this round as well, and that shouldn't have been allowed. That should have been something they played more aggressively to deny.
Well, remember, he just got $900 there from the 3 kills. He got the bomb planted to get the $1,400 for losing. He can actually afford AK right now and some decent grenades at this point. He could come in flying.
Gets the $1,900 for losing as it is in this meta.
I beg your pardon, absolutely. It is $1,900. So yes, I think they're going to buy here. That was a 5-on-1, which ended up with 3 kills, a bomb planted, and I agree with you. Cadian, sure, he's being defensive. He's trying to win the round. I understand that. But the fact he gets a plant in that scenario, like I said, I used the word miracle to describe that. That shouldn't have been possible. Great shots towards spawn, but the bomb down there, I'm not so sure that should have happened. But either way, they win the round. That's the headline. Just it gives Avangar a fighting chance here. We had a player disconnect, so maybe just a little bit of time to calculate ourselves as they work out their situation here. You can see this lovely graffiti on each map. This one themed around London. We had a few Union Jacks. There's a cup of tea, I assume, warming the hands of the locals there, next to a SAS member as well of an AWP. Beautiful stuff.
You're so patriotic, Henry.
I'm really not. I'm kind of bailing out on the whole country, but anyway.
Just like they're, well, let's leave that one alone. Yeah. That's a dangerous joke for this setting.
But the buy does come through, just to note. The AK is out for Buster. He got those 3 kills. I'm expecting big things. I think he can do it this round.
Gade trying to get information. Stuck in the corner. It's a difficult position to be in, considering he's against pistols and a good number of them at that. Katie needs to make sure he gives him support. Very passive from the other 2 players on A as they sit in jungle and on the stairs. So Gade, you'd almost rather see him inside of the site behind the boxes than up there against utility, and what could have, and you described it, could have been a force by Buster's done that. He's brought out the AK-47.
Indeed. I really thought he was going to get that first pick, but North have readjusted quite nicely here. They've got the UMPs right up to the mouth of the A ramp. But Buster, if he goes down, it's going to be a difficult one to recover. And he's spotted Gade, does the damage, opening pick now. They can get a UMP into one of the hands of hopefully one of the players of Armor. They have a fighting chance here.
Yeah, not only have they left him out to dry in that position, Cadian's trying to watch Palace at range with an MP9. That's not really going to cut it when you know that there's likely armor. You've given away a UMP up close, and that AK has so much range to work with in its favor. A lot of the site, a lot of the ground opened up, and as a result, they'll take full advantage. It's Fitch that's going to find Volda. He found Chrisian beforehand. Bomb this time is caught. Kiarby's going to even put flames on top of that, making it much harder to pick up with 7 seconds bought by that. We're down under 20 to go, but good positioning from Buster. He'll push through, catch off one more CT. Didn't spot the second on the stairs, so information lacking. Cadian on the flank, pushed all the way through Palace, I believe. Actually, excuse me, I think he went back around through mid. Either way, it's going to be bomb down, and good positioning for Kirby. 8 seconds, he just needs to back away, takes the fight. James gets found instead.
Oh, it took a real effort there from North to even get close to winning that round, but it all comes together in the end. It was looking like Avangar had done enough. The opening pick from Buster, nice flank towards Spawn as well, made things very uncomfortable. But Cadian coming with the MP9, finds a low HP player. Unfortunately, that decision to plant the bomb in the open there, they could even plant that connector and being safe. And that goes down early. They don't get the plant, but they do get the AKs here. It was not a full investment in the previous round, just Buster bringing out the AK due to the extra money he managed to gather with the 3 kills and the plant. But they have got North on the ropes financially. Gay gets himself in towards a ramp, maybe with perfect timing as well, because they would assume this position is clear. They got there early. You can see sniffing it out, seeing if there's anything available. The MP9, its fast rate of fire, can do a lot of damage up close. Just like that. Takes down the first kill and get a smoke and try and survive here.
Gade's going to push through on this as well. That is, he gets away with the AK for it. Fitch can't find him, but slight gap. He will evidently take him down in the end, bring it back to 4 aside. Prizian in mid. Would have expected more from that position. Had the advantage on Volda, but he slides out with the AUG. Manages the kill, and they'll rotate back to CT stairs. A lacking in defense. They'll now address that, and they can still control middle because Cadian slides back down connector. Secondary position. Didn't have the confidence, despite the Jame not looking at him, to actually hold position and take the fight. He perhaps overthought that. Step back, gave Jame a chance, and he takes full advantage of it on the AK-47. Kierby instead, trying to flash position. Perhaps wary that someone might be up close. They can frag in through and put some damage through that box. Put pressure on his position. So far, they've elected not to. They want to just get ground inside of the site. Bomb to cross over. Buster will have to peek out from the top of Palace to make sure CT is open, but the flames down. They'll just barely get the plant off.
That's the plan I wanted to see in the previous round. Safer, and it actually gives them a nice advantageous position as well. 2 versus 2. But Kierby, known for his shaky aim, rattles off a few bullets there towards the connector. I'd say the CTs have the advantage here, but a lack of utility does give Fitch an edge. He will go down, though, and it leaves him in a 1 versus 1. Kierby now picking up the kit. Bomb down, Orca position. Good grenade. Should do some substantive damage. He's got the full defuse going on. He has not. And it's up to James to check the bomb now. Surely wins out this one. Gets him off the defuse, and there it is. A scrappy finish, but they win the round nonetheless. And we know how broken North have been. So many tight situations where they really should have run away with the round have actually left them in this position. They give away their first, and they're left with a force fight situation. They'd be double eco regardless, so they might as well go in for this one. But remember, that was only 1 player surviving for Avangar, so this force fight definitely worth it. It's not like it's just a compromise. They could actually win this one and answer right back. We'll see what they decide to do. So, UMPs, 3 pistols, a little bit of utility. It's actually not too bad. Considering there's a Mac 10 and a Galil out for the T side, they can work with this.
Avangar trying to do what they can. Smokes down in middle. They'll take advantage of it. Mid, the utmost importance on Mirage. Very tactical map in terms of timings. Certainly requires smokes on the T side. We can see 2 of them used just to get Fitch in position on catwalk. And finding the frag, he opens up position from the balcony of apartments as well, because they instantly have to overwhelm the CTs, and Krizian adds to the approach. Bomb goes down. Pretty straightforward affair. They may even save, given that they have armor, 2 UMPs, and not a lot of money carried over. In fact, no one beyond $150 at this point in the round, so pretty obvious decision for North. Not a lot worth hunting either, because there's not much money on the Avangar side, excuse me, and consider that the SMGs get $600 per kill. You're actually just aiding North in building up the bank.
Absolutely agree. And this way as well, you might even tempt North to go for another force fire around these 3 weapons, which would be absolutely delightful if you're the T side right now. That would actually put them in such a difficult position going forward, and you can really bleed them out. We'll see whether any kills are found towards the end. It looks like both teams playing very conservatively. Avangar exiting towards that mid position. You can see them staying as a tight pack. No one giving anything away for the reasons we mentioned before. So 2 UMPs, a CZ, and a tactical timeout perhaps. I'm not sure. We'll see if that comes through, because they need to discuss their situation. You've got 2 UMPs, sure, but I would say it's not worth the force fight here. You're going to get yourself in financial ruin if you go for a full investment at this stage of the game. Very early on, I would say you're the favorites, but according to the odds, as you can see, provided by GG.BET, they are not right now. You just need to play your game and wait till you get the full buyout. As we'll see Buster, who showed impressive form so far, open things up and taking down Cadian.
Good find in the AK. Gade, meanwhile, has dropped down from the window, sneaks in behind them. He managed to get all the way through the underpass undetected. Krizian, he had his doubts about it. Turn back does damage, but damage not enough. Brings it back to 4-on-4. It won't open up much of a gun opportunity because he already had the UMP. It's not like he can pick up anything on top of it. Look how aware they become of that position as well. Buster immediately has to consider the fact that he could push all the way through.
Well, still anyone's round here. Obvious advantage for an Avangar considering the weapons, health, and indeed the grenades, and they've left the B side open. That's exactly what Avangar are heading towards. They've got one player setting up a little, what I guess you wouldn't call this a fake, more of a distraction perhaps. He's just going to be showing presence towards this side of the map and seeing whether he can open things up. But the rotation coming through, he is not acting quick enough. They've actually got 3 players making their way back towards B. This was an open bomb site.
And he's going to call that. At least that information gets relayed to Avangar before they get caught out being too aggressive. Because Kickert didn't see anyone working through. AZ is still reverse fire, but it's only a USP to work with.
Yes, that's not going to win in the round, but maybe he can deny the bomb and delay for a little bit. Unfortunately, it was the low HP player planting as well. That was ideal. Just a really awkward position. The connector plant protects him, and back and forth. That really could have gone either way, but lovely call from Kickert to actually get there and say, come back towards A boys.
Yeah, if Kickert had called that, or was late in that relaying that information and Avangar was already committed, they could have walked into a potential slaughter just on crossfires alone. So again, these 2 UMPs to be carried over. Avangar's going to take the lead and go up 3-2 as the odds shift further and further away from North in this game. Good anticipation by James to try and locate one of the 2 players saving a weapon. 3 rounds in a row. Buster from that position, I think, will still take a little damage. Not quite. He got, okay, 4 damage, so he stays alive and it keeps the AKs up. And when does mid get contested with the AWP? Because we've been back and forth on the buys and with the force buy early as well from Avangar. They haven't really had the money to do so. The CTs haven't needed to reinvest and then got broken down too soon.
Well, we will see. They can definitely afford the AWPs. They've got 2 residual SMGs. I am fascinated to know whether they'll keep those or think we need to start winning rounds, so we need firepower. They will hold on to them and keep the cash a bit stronger. That's Kiabi. I think Gade actually dropped the ult for Cadian, so we'll see what he can do. It's going to be an A execution here. You can see 5 players on the top left of the screen there setting up towards the A bomb site. I suggest they're going to drop all the smokes, the flashbangs, the Molotovs, make CTs uncomfortable. They're reacting though, Gade in the perfect position, at least for 1 frag here. Can he get away? Was dropped after this in the exact same scenario. 10 HP and he somehow survives. Not for long.
Yeah, I was going to say back turn. He was trying to retreat. Buster managed to sneak out just in time. Kickert, meanwhile, still working in from Palace. No utility, surprisingly, put in his feet or in his way. Oftentimes, you'll see that Molotov by the CT so that they can position a player on the stairs and get the advantage on the angle. Flash out. Valde easily sees that coming. No surprise, no pop. And its placement. Cadian now with the op towards CT. And if you'll note, there's no smokes left over for Avangar. They can't cover this position. That has to be a duel. The op certainly has the advantage.
They can, however, plant the connector. We'll see if that's the play here. Currently, the bomb resides between the sandwich. We'll see whether this flashbang will allow the CTs to get back in towards that bomb site here. Buster waiting. You can see the confidence. He's just so ready for this headshot to be delivered, but unfortunately Valda, who's an absolute god from the jungle position, will get 2 kills. Maybe a little bit too apprehensive there to make their move. They're waiting for CT mistakes, actually just ran into headshots, and overall quite a disappointing finish there from Avangar. Great control, good trade to kick things off, just couldn't have the utility, as you pointed out, to actually do anything with it. As soon as they committed towards the bomb site, Valda, who has been one of the few players on this squad that has been performing as of late, he nails them with the M4, and then the cleanup begins as Cadian came in from CT spawn. So great work by him. We really want to see Cadian do something with this because we know he can be an in-game leader, he can be an AWPer. I am yet to see him do both at the same time. With this squad, it seems like it's one or the other. So there he goes. Speak of the devil, Jane will take him down, jumping across towards connector. That's the AWP removed. And do they want to capitalize that upon that and do something quickly? I'm not so sure.
It's a good first pick as well because it's a potential 3-round reset again for Avangar. AZ up on the balcony, hooks through, does find Krizian. Krizian going down actually opens up quite a bit of opportunity for the CTs. Back to a 4-on-4. They can start to get a little more aggressive. AZ ultimately gets away with that because he was caught in an open position.
Does he?
That's pretty impressive from James. Through the edge of the balcony, he'll take him down, opening B. Bomb's going to go quick and aggressive because Kickert's gone down on the opposite site. They now know it has to be over here. But no positioning toward Kitchen, no positioning toward Checkers. They can't cover the cross on the windows. Instead, that's being held in reverse by the AWP. Buster's charged with planting the bomb. He should do so immediately at default, safely as well. No one on Cat to catch him dropping down. And that's exactly where James will look next. Knows a flank is in potential, so he's got the smoke down, but that means there's a timer on his positioning. now has information as to Catwalk, but behind Double Arch Pillar, they can't fire through it, and Buster's stuck in a corner. This is going to be very, very difficult to hold off the retake. James does finally find Gade. That'll open up some opportunity for the T's to start moving, and Buster does exactly that. Once Gade was cleared, he knew he could rotate back out from quad, and Valda can do very little. They know exactly where he is at bench. He's just going to have to bail out if he can at this point with the AK. That kill will allow him to do so, but the round is gone.
Good shot there from James. I'm surprised it didn't connect, but he's got 3 in total. His work here is done. He gets the opening pick. He finds 2 more once the bomb is planted. Great work towards that B bomb site. You said it as well. AZ actually played above and beyond the expectations there. He gets 2 kills. Went for the jump peak though. Usually a safe one, but James nails that shot. As soon as they do that, that's the cue for the teammates to just spill in towards that B bomb site and make sure they can actually take over, get the bomb down, and play those post-plant situations, which they did very effectively. And back and forth we go. North still not looking that confident. There's a tactical pause from Avangar, considering they just won the round. That's surprising. You can see them trying to warm up the hands there as we get into a situation now the coach can get involved. We actually got an interview with the new coach. I didn't catch his name. Did you, for North?
Mither?
No, okay, so this is I think they only announced the removal.
I think it's Mither, technically.
Of AB like yesterday, didn't they? So this is like him coming straight into the deep end here. You've got to land next week.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
And Abe said, obviously, ultimately that he was stepping back for family reasons.
Indeed.
So if that's the case, we wish him well in doing so. Can definitely understand that decision. It's tough to be on the road for most of the Tier 1 teams for well over 200 days a year. A number of our colleagues, even in the commentary world, Anders, by the way, included in that. Anders, I think, expecting a second baby.
Yes.
Now, probably already happened.
Good luck to the big man. And there it is. The first pick does come through. Will there be a second? It looks like Caden will be dropped as well. Quicker getting absolutely ham here on the A-bomb site. And that could be the round in itself. We will see. You don't see many picks like that, though. The single player working the A-ramp, presented with 2 opportunities just to win out the round at that point. But Avangar, I like this. I actually respect the fact they're not panicking. Even the player that got those opening kills, he isn't running away with it. He isn't getting out of control. He's staying very calculated. Look at that straight line formation they've got right now. They're waiting for reactions. They're waiting to see what the CTs will do, what mistakes will be made, and there's plenty of them. So there we go. We'll be Buster to find the penultimate kill. Valda, he's good, but I'm not really sure we'll be able to do much with this one, and the woes for North seem to continue here, Matt.
Yeah, Avangar's looked sharp as of late. North certainly had struggles. There's no question about that. And the tactical prowess paying off on Mirage. A bit more of an even map than what we've seen so far. I guess Inferno, it was very one-sided in the way that it played. It was obviously a very CT-sided game. Yeah, but that's not typical of that map. So Mirage, though, so far the only one going the way that it ultimately should in terms of statistics. Seen 4 different maps so far out of 4 played.
That little approach towards A-ramp really didn't work out for them there. Usually you want to be dropping the incendiary to go with that, just to allow you to get as close as you possibly can. Just to be clear, the players can't see those sprays. I know it looks like a player in the window. They cannot see that artwork. It's only for us.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier, yes. Looking through Connector, the one that's currently behind Buster.
It looks
like a player. But yeah, that's actually just the spectator side for the sake of the broadcast. Not on the players' computers at all. James, Kicker, both taking down 2. That goes beyond reasons of just seeing a graphic. Remember in like 1.6, you used to be able to spray your paints. People used to actually get PNGs of players that would confuse. But it's also for frame rate reasons. Obviously, the more particles on the map, that would potentially affect some of these guys. So they keep it stock for them.
Absolutely. Well, I don't think North will be able to do too much more with this. They've got 1 kill. That was courtesy of AZ there. Their money not in the worst situation ever. They'll be on 3rd stage loss bonus next round, so there'll be enough potentially for an AWP as well. We haven't really seen much from that. As maybe another kill will be available here. There's a player towards the bench. He's still going to be there for now. The flashbang comes through. I actually think they're flashing themselves as they get the final kill anyway. Just 1 going down there. 6-3. Avangar looking quite confident. I like their approach, actually. It's not too chaotic. It's not too methodical. It's just right. They're kind of mixing things up with executions, good defaults, and not panicking when they get these advantages. So we'll see if they can continue that as we'll get into the next round. Is this going to be a tactical timeout? The boys probably need one in the North camp as they go for AUGs, M4s, no AWPs or kits. Just to know that.
And double AUG. Haven't quite seen the full purchase of it yet. Money's not really been there for it, to be fair. Fitch is already going to cross over. Default smoke on Cat allows boxes to be taken. It's become the standard. You used to just smoke off simply inside of the window, but now you get more duration out of that window smoke by throwing it after you've already taken mid.
Makes sense.
You're also a little more guaranteed in hitting that smoke. It's not the easiest to throw from CT spawn, or T spawn, excuse me. Certainly would be hard to throw from CT spawn.
That would be an impressive smoke. But anyway, here comes James, who has hit some impressive shots. We'll see a little execution here, a little bit more of a contact play, and you can see it ends up a little bit differently here. If you don't get that initial kill, CTs can pounce and counter you with the utility, as they're looking very efficient here with the 5 rifle setup.
Quick check behind them, as they've not had any attention that direction. Given they've already lost 2, they've got to keep everyone close to A. Single smoke, Molotov 2 flash. Get the smoke potentially down towards CT. The AWP, you might expect that actually goes toward jungle instead, but we'll see what they elect to do. They've got 2 players close in the site, so either way, they're going to have to go for duels when they confront, when they execute. You could even argue at that point, if you're going to have to take fights, why not save the smoke for post-plant? Optimistic if it gets that far. Volda underneath of Shadow will bait in the position from Gade. Molotov to force out Volda. That is the one use of the fiery bottle they had. Cadian gets Fitch back. James pretty much got it all to do with the AWP. 9 seconds. He's going to bail out and just hold on to the weapon. So smart decision at that point. In fact, even expecting he's going to be chased.
I guess he can get back up there. He's just making sure. That's actually not the worst idea. So if he does go down, they won't be able to recover it, but now he is. He'll pick it up, no problem. Plenty of cash, though, on the Avangar side, but it's the 5 rifles of North that actually find them a convincing round. I feel like that's maybe where they need to be focusing towards. Cadian's orbit, as of late, hasn't looked that great. We'll see whether he wants to stick on the rifle right now and maybe just focus on that. Let's go for some teamwork, some crossfires instead of individual plays with the sniper rifle. We'll see whether they will continue that going forward, but a nice clean round there from North. Avangar saved the AWP. We saw there was plenty of cash remaining in the tank, so not in trouble just yet. They have the lead here on the CT side of the map. They're currently on the terrorist forces here. We'll see if they can continue it, as it's a tactical pause now for them to discuss their options. Have they got a coach now? Yes, they do. He's just not standing up. He's having a little sit down.
It's relaxed.
Yeah.
That's something to discuss as well. The presence of a coach and the mentality of a coach behind certain teams. Some of them are there. Zeus comes to mind very aggressively to warm up and pump up the teams. Yeah. Others are sat more methodically analyzing things and only brought in when they're needed. Certainly different styles within them as well.
Absolutely. I guess you've got that example be LMBT, for example. Someone who's much more passive on that side of things. Either way.
Where he ends up, that's up for debate now as well.
Yes, indeed. That's part of the Mouse Sports story. That's here's James with the AWP. Spots a couple. But you can see that they're happy to continue with the default. The bombs in T spawners. Keep an eye on that. So suggest they won't be doing anything too committed just yet. It's going to see what kind of intel they can get towards this area.
So Fitch up close. Considered throwing the Molotov out toward the window, not allow anyone to peek. You would presume that the execution then would come toward connector immediately thereafter, but they slow things down and think otherwise. No one in the window. In fact, it's going to be coverage to mid from the wings. 1 in connector, 2 arguably if you want to count the peek from Volda, but also we saw the AUG on Catwalk in Kiavi's hands. He'll be able to spot through. Gade finds the opener. It's back towards CT as well. That swing from Ticket, which means none of these 2 players, neither of these 2 players has been spotted. Smokes down. Volda, aware of other threats, looks back. That actually opens up Buster's take. He finds Cadian as well. That's 2 for 1. Brings it back to a 2-on-2 situation. Thankfully, Kiavi's smised the task from Catwalk, able to find him with the scope, but either way, it's Buster to get a bomb plant down. Smartly goes behind triple, and he can force out CT. Isolate this down to a 1-on-1, timing everything, though he looks away, and that's when AZ shows up. Doesn't find the kill, but damage done, and he can play this, okay, fair enough, in accordance with his teammate, Nade instead to do the work.
I guess no harm, no foul there comes to mind. AZ did miss the shot. Quite a difficult one, obviously, like he couldn't see the body completely. Had he have ended up dying there and losing the round, it would have been a really horrible moment for them. But they recover, the nade lands, it's all good. And they get a couple of rounds in a row here. You see the fist bumps coming through as they try and get themselves in this game. It's going to be a long, arduous process. This is a best of 3. This is our final best of 3 of the day. First map. Bit of an unlikely matchup. I don't think I've cast these 2 particular teams play off against each other before. First game of the day was a surprise victory for Heroic. Their first showing of the new roster against Na'Vi, who went down 2-1. We'll see what can be done here with the AKs. Much faster approaches from Fitch as he manages to get his way up towards shorts. And there will be an exchange of grenades, but he holds true towards the corner here, waiting for the smokes and followed up incendiaries.
Nade out toward ladder. Fitch saw that coming the whole way and backed off, bounced through, didn't do any damage onto him, but certainly aware of the presence, close up in the corner most likely. Valda, this is even greater. He'll fall back and allow to walk in. Fitch nearly got away with that. AK aiming downward, headshot's a one-shot kill from that weapon, so he ultimately was unlucky not to find the kill despite the awareness to check the angle. He'll go down. Valda sits with 7 to stay in a 5-on-4 situation as Jame looks toward the site with the AWP. Sliver gap to find. Good execution, good entrance. Gade really couldn't do much as he was trying to dodge the flash, and up close Buster takes him out. The op falls on retreat as well.
So he's got low HP, so Valda might be better off picking up that weapon. We'll see whether that's the case. He actually is going to be pushing, so he drops the smoke, suggests I've fallen back, but keeps going forward anyway. They're going to go back towards A. Valda is coming right behind them, though. He's made too much noise, I believe, and indeed he'll be taken down. Great idea, just well read by Chris in there, and he can recover the bomb and make his way towards A. You can see his teammates have already built the foundations as Cadian hits the shot. It's now a 2-on-2.
2-on-2, Kicker's going to make better work of that onto Cadian, finding the man who previously fragged out his teammate, but AZ avenges the death and works closer. He's got the HP advantage, no bomb plant, 13 seconds. It's pretty much his round without getting the frag, but he'll find it anyway. And 6-6, they tie it back up. AZ looking a little bit more stoic and perhaps impenetrable, more consistent than we're used to see. We criticized him at the start of this game.
That's an AZ play. That's the kind of play we expect from him. Someone who's got brutal aim, aggressive play style, unpredictable nature. That's what we wanted to see. He's not scared to take the duels. He is actually making sure he's the one dictating the pace of the situation, even though he's a defending CT. That's what made him such a big name. We haven't seen it for a while, but that's a glimmer of it. We want to see more of it this series, as this is not the force buy from Avangar. North have tied things up 6-6. It's going to be an execution with a little bit of presence from James towards B. It looks like they're fully committing with this one. The bomb makes its way through. Gade spots them all, flashes them off, and wants to try and deny the plant at this point.
Valda playing on the backside of the smoke. It's an off angle and unexpected, but it's usually only good for one, and that's the case here. Pistols finding 2 of the kills. In fact, getting the M4s as a result of it certainly strengthens the take for Avangar. They're going to try and nade and Molotov through on default. Went for that safe plant, had the smoke down, but Utility wins it out instead. Bomb denied, and further still by Cadian's position on Catwalk, peeking all the way through the center of the map. Still a 2-on-2. Traded back by Jame. He knows the op was toward Cap, but he's lost the information. It's kind of clever by Cadian, because now James unsure if he wants to peek out. That angle back toward mid entirely favors Cadian. He wants to get toward the bomb, but now that he confirms the op's not there, he's equally at a disadvantage because he doesn't have any information. A
game of cat and mouse ensues. At this point, it's not clear which role is played by who at this point, but Cadian, he needs to track down Jame and work out, has he got that bomb yet? Has he made his way through spawn? And Jame doesn't know where Cadian is either. 30 seconds to play, but it looks like it will come to its conclusion at this point. I think Cadian's got it in the bag. Comes down to the timings, nails the shot, and there will be 2 kills in the round, looking a lot more confident there. Back-to-back clutch victories there for North. AZ before, now Cadian coming good in the 1 versus 1. Coming to the end of the first half at this point, North with the lead, but just a sliver of one. You have to remember that this is Mirage, a map where everyone plays it. It's not necessarily that CT-sided. We've seen huge comebacks on either side, and I'm sure there's a lot more twists and tails to come. We'll see what happens here as the AWP for Jame comes through. No helmet for him.
There's the deep mid smoke that time. So you can see it inside the window. It renders the op essentially useless. The rotation typically goes back toward connector. That's what Cadian has done, but they've left Valda in position for when that smoke expires. 12 seconds before you can start to see through it. Certainly on the edges. Buster takes down Cadian. Good find. Good read on that as well. Knew the smoke was expiring. Likely he was going to rotate in that position. Great headshot.
Love to see that. It's Cadian going down, and Valda, who is a bit of a Mirage master. I love watching his particular play style here. We'll see if he can bring the situation back in their favor. You can see a bit of a B stack here from North. Considering they've just lost a player, they're putting a lot of pressure on Gade to hold the A bomb site alone. From CT spawn, he has got the scoped weapon, I guess, with this the AUG, but it's up to AZ now. Need to see multiple kills from him.
Easy in the corner. Molotov's going to go to Truck. That will not be at his feet, which means he's got position. Shot fired on the window player. Takes advantage of the fact the smoke's down and actually pursues the kill. Not to be answered either. AZ somehow staying alive. 14 HP. He can push through. There's a flash in position. He might, easily find Jame, but ran into each other, and Jame realized it first. His AWP redrawn as Volda stays toward the bench, but bombs down inside of the site. He knows the AWP is still in position, so after finding Buster, he's heard him drop down. They can play this together. Volda, he's got to hold this angle. I'm not sure Jame has any information as to where he's gone, but they'll play this to time. They'll play this on each individual angle. The AWP has to be perfect and eventually has to force the issue.
It will be Valda to close things out. So many tight rounds here, man. Back and forth, but unfortunately for Avangar, it's North taking the lion's share of these tense 1v1 situations. You can see it's not a relaxing game to play right now on the North side of things. They know they're really being tested here by Avangar, but they do have the lead for now. And we'll see where this first half concludes. As the boys discuss their options, here's the final round. Oh my goodness, they've gone for AKs. 3 players with our helmets, barely any utility whatsoever. They got 1 smoke. They just use that towards window and try and get towards connector. I actually don't know what the best option is here. Gade with the MP9 opens things up, and he gets a double kill as well.
With an MP9, that's not a bad way to start off round 15. Upgrades naturally, as you would do, onto the AK-47. 3 of which remain now on the Avangar side. And Gade's going to stay forward as well at A main. Bombs to his left. He's managed to hold the position long enough as well to call for Volda to get up close and so deep into the corner. Gade easily able to take down Kristen, who is not quite ready for the angle. James going to pull one back. Gade's so low on HP. They try to swap it out. So he's actually found the higher of the 2 position players, but Gade, he's managed to retreat, get all the way back into shadow. Buster, meanwhile, trying to task and take open middle. It's the only option they really have. Bomb at this point is actually working through A main. It's not committed past the archway. Time is as such that they could rotate back off this. Buster's gotten Kiabi down. There's still 45 seconds to work with.
Well, here we go then. Buster, who's looked sharp, especially in the opening segments of this first half, is left with Jame now in the 3 versus 2. Have to go for it. It's the final round of the first half. Jame makes his way up towards our Palace. If he jumped up a step further, might have spotted Gade. He's actually beneath, so he will get that kill either way. And AZ, he should be able to secure the round there as Cadian closes things out. A high-risk shot to jump up, but he nails it. And it will be 9-6, but a turbulent half, I have to say, for North there. That was not a comfortable match. You have to think they actually won, what, I think it was 4 1v1 situations overall, which is such a close game. It might not seem like it, like seeing that, oh, they had quite a comfortable half, 9-6, but it could have gone either way. One of those clutches falls apart for North. They are in financial ruin, and Avangar could have gone right back in it. But like we said, Mirage is such a well-played map at this point. So many teams are well-versed on it. This could still go either way. 9-6 is not a huge advantage.
Yeah, I think Mirage was probably the most played map in 2018.
Yes.
I didn't look up the stat, but it has to be. I mean, let's be honest.
I think so.
Cash was pretty much an auto ban for most teams by the end of the year. Dust 2 is back in the pool. It's not a new map. People get mad about calling it a new map, but in many ways it is, because teams have to readdress the fact that they haven't practiced it, etc. So it wasn't as popular. You're right. Nuke, certainly, we've talked about the issues with it. Mirage is middle ground for just about everybody. Often the scoreline indicative of that, but as you say, Avangar, they had the lead at one point in time, couldn't pull it together. It was the economic battle that North actually prevailed in to pull themselves back in. Oftentimes you see it be very momentum-based on a map like this.
Absolutely.
Where as soon as the CTs are broken down, they can't afford the best weapons, they can't afford to bring out utility, to delay the execution of the Ts, to take the map control. That's when you start to fall apart.
Well then, second half, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see whether Avangar can post this one on the CT side and give themselves a route back into the game. Losing this will be a very difficult comeback. See execution from North. A basic one, I think they get 2 smokes towards the jungle and steps position, a flashbang towards spawn, and focusing Kiabi's efforts towards that area. His job now, stop rotations from the CT/B area and see if he can get flashed in. Cadian's throwing the flash. Will it be effective? They're actually waiting for it. Fitch is aware of this strategy. He's hitting headshots, but there's just too many players on the other side. But over committing perhaps there. Still a 3-on-3 with Jane taking a headshot.
Does take a headshot, but he's still alive on 6. Bomb already planted. Anyone will do on the retake. They've also lost HP on Buster, easily disposed of. AZ goes for, in fact, the jumping burst shot to confirm the damage already done. That's not what he's still in this. Ooh. They tried to hold the defuse naturally. He finds the trade on Cadian, but he can't do much with the round. 2 kills to his name. Well, with 6 HP, no kits, he'll go back to CT spawn, where unfortunately the blast radius is still far too close for comfort, and he's gone. I don't think AZ realized he actually had perished to the bomb, but nonetheless, North pick up the round.
Well, there we go. It will be Cadian to save the day there. Actually got a little bit awkward, that full defuse attempt there with the difficult plant position. It could have fallen apart with the cover from CT spawn especially, but he gets the all-important kill, and North will pick up the pistol. So there we have it. Second round comes through. And it will be the full eco for Avangar here. They have got a Deagle and a Zeus for Jame. Anyone who's not aware, the Zeus is not necessarily a one-tap taser. It's a little bit temperamental, but you can get some really cheeky frags with this, just like that. And it could actually win them the round.
That's ridiculous.
I'm glad I brought it up just before it comes in.
Jumping taser, it's not common we see that.
Indeed.
But it doesn't yield, I take it back, one of the SMGs actually did fall over the balcony edge, so it does give them a weapon to work with. You're right, it gives them the man advantage on top of that because the pistol kill immediately on the back of it. AZ is going to rotate back naturally. You do not want to walk into the Bears' den at that point in time. Can't afford to lose to pistols this early on in the half. Bomb's still in their hands as well. Typically, you wouldn't send it first, but we've seen teams get a little bit careless in that approach.
That's absolutely true. Mistakes are made even by the very best. Sometimes you don't even realize you have the bomb. Mistakes can be made. Overcommitted players focusing on the frags. They have a disadvantage in terms of the manpower, but they've only given that the Mac-10. That's why the Mac-10 is such a versatile weapon when you know you're up against eco players, because even if that player goes down, the Mac-10 is pretty useless against armored players, especially at any sort of range. And if they've just got that against AKs, there should be no chance of them really doing much of it. But you never know. One more kill with the CTs here without a response, that could do it. 20 seconds remaining. There's the headshot. Can AZ be taken down? Not quite. He is tenacious in this position as he gets 2 frags now. Gade pretty much secures it, but here comes Kristen. Can he manage to actually finish this one off? If he gets the first kill, there is a chance of 10 seconds remaining. But no, it's all shut down. North win the round by the skin of their teeth there. But Avangar, with enough to buy into this round, actually have probably quite the advantage in terms of firepower here.
Yeah, absolutely. They made that super expensive on the T side. They'll have to buy back the weapons. The AK-47s, a little bit cheaper on the T side than on the CTs, but still not something they would have wanted to do considering what they were up against. Now keep the Galil for Gade. The rest will reinvest. Sam peeks mid. Very passive peek, you have to say, with the AWP, considering they brought it out so early, but perhaps they're anticipating that they won't expect it. They'll commit to middle, and he'll be primed on an angle. He's actually given it up exactly when they get close, so the AWP already goes down, and it's not going to be in a position where it can be recovered. Instead, it'll be Prison that now gets pressure applied. He manages to sustain that as well, but dropping down is AZ. Meanwhile, the rest of the kills go the way of Avangar, and it's suddenly a 3-on-2 favoring the defensive side, and bomb down inside of the site. Buster's going to find Kiarabi.
Oh my goodness, AZ's actually setting himself up quite nicely, I have to say. He's got time to work with there. Sure, he hasn't got the bomb, but with full HP and awareness as to where the last 2 CTs could be, he might be able to run away with this, takes a dink, and unfortunately, any prospects he has fall apart quite quickly there. But it's 11-7. They make the round expensive there on the T side, so 2 players surviving for Avangar. It's the first round of the second half at this point, but they keep the Augs up. I'm not sure there's an AWP in play, so we'll see if that gets picked up or purchased into the next round. The money should be relatively low here. Remember, they had an expensive round before up against those pistols. Maybe they just opt to keep their advantage here. I can see some PD50s being dropped. I think that's all they'll be purchased into this one. Oh, I tell a lie. They have actually gone for CZs, armor, and an AK for Valda. This is an ambitious play. They want to shut down Avangar now and go for the victory nice and early on. If they can win this round, that will be absolutely massive. It will be such a reset and a 12-7 lead for North. But this is not an easy round. This is what we'd call a flash attack. You're sending the pistols out of the apartments with flashbangs set for your teammates at the A ramp. Smokes will be deployed as well, but objective, get out and focus towards CD spawn and get the CZs through the smoke. That should be in James' position right now.
Yeah. The fact that they've purchased, obviously they're aiming to win the round. The consolation to that is if they get the bomb down, at least they'll bring out some money in doing so. That has to be the very least they get from this round. Smoke's in position. They'll drop through it. Flames already at their feet when they arrive, and Secret's got a fine and clean line of sight from CT spawn. Voldas finds one. You're right. The smoke's up close, allow them to push through. Cadian's already doing damage to jungle as well. That will hold off the CTs. Good shot from Jame. Aggressive from Gade to go through, but By holding them at bay, the bomb plant should have already occurred. The problem is there was just enough in return from Avangar that they were unable to do so. Finally, they'll get it down, and they find themselves at the disadvantage by 1. It all falls to Volda. He'll play off KRB and information. He's in fact going to get aggressive with the pistol. He's got no other choice. They have to find a kill before the retake occurs, before the CTs can actually set themselves up to take back this bomb. And Volda, he's going to play aggressive on the AK as well. The problem is that KRB didn't do anything with that.
I really feel like he had to, right? The fact his teammate was exposed and now that defuse is just happening. There's no two ways about it. You had the disadvantage there. A play had to be made. That smoke down, you got a CZ, the perfect weapon to push his smoke with. I feel like you had to maybe make some sort of commitment there, and his teammate just got hung out to dry. As soon as the smoke goes down, he gets dropped, and then they get the follow-up frag. But as you saw, no chance of winning the round at that point. The full defuse coming through.
At the very least, play an angle that would be able to do damage when the peak comes out. You're right, he completely hung the AK out to dry. Volda can't cover off every possible angle in that situation. Certainly not with that plant either. They went for the safe plant, CT open, but they can't play that from long, or from A main, excuse me. So he actually backed off to that position, realized that they were at a disadvantage and had to go back in. Now call a tactical to address some of the miscommunications and team plays that have not gone their way, perhaps try and fix them before it's too late. They still have the lead, but as you say, they've lost the weapon advantage. Time to test Cadian.
Indeed. He's tweeted out an emotional one the other day saying last week's result of the minor was a career low for him. Felt like that was the most disappointed he's ever been, and difficult to get back on the horse after that sort of defeat, to go back to practice and change things up and start from the beginning. Like they said, pull the roots and see what they can develop in 2019. A lot of work to be done with this squad. KRB does save the org. And they'll have the Eagles, CZ, as we get to round number 20. Got a feeling this is going to be a 3-mapper as well. Avangar come to play today. Some great rounds from them. James especially done a great job with the AWP. Some huge impact kills from him. Oh my goodness, Krisen with the classic maneuver. He pulled the smoke out. That's the moment the CZ run around the corner. And no kills found just yet, but I feel like that's going to change any second now. Krisen with Valda on the other side of that connector.
Deagle still trying to find the long-range shot as they get out toward the stairs. No window boosts in effect yet. Didn't see any in the first half either. Certainly a possible means of segregating the defense to try and overwhelm the connector position. They did get toward the ladder. That certainly lends itself to a similar approach, but at range, the rifles make quick work of North. KRB's now pincered. Despite having this AUG, overcommitment from Buster, you have to say. No one else really in a position to trade off of that, but James does get out with the AWP eventually, and it's all down to Gade. He's got the bomb. Only a Deagle to work with, and not really much of an opportunity to plant that. Not a bad shot to Kicker, but Krisen's going to put him down immediately after.
We'll take that shot. That was an exciting one, absolutely. Nice work from him, but Avangar closing the gap now. As we said, as CT started map just slightly, I don't think it's that much of a huge talking point, but when you've got a comeback coming on, it certainly helps. Drives the motivation, knowing that you can definitely bring this one back in your favor. And we'll see whether there's a double orb setup presented just yet. Not quite. Still in the hands of James. Got 21 kills. Pretty lackluster buy from North. They get the AKs. You can see Gade and AZ lacking utility as they go for a fast approach here. Straight up towards short by the looks of things. Maybe busting through the connector. We'll see what they opt for here. As they look for a gap, it's bust up on the other side. Watching Shaw, and he's definitely got the information to call whether they make their way towards B.
Bit unsure, Buster, if he wanted to push through the smoke or fall back through the one that was deployed behind him. I think he was expecting perhaps a bit of a peek from them on the back of the smoke, but North elects not to. They'll in fact rotate all the way back through spawn and potentially put a little bit more pressure onto A. Bomb's been waiting in that position the whole time, as Gade was just covering off to see if anyone would push through and go for the flank on the Avangar side. We've seen this crossfire from both sides now. It hasn't really amounted to much, or at least not what you'd expect from the connector play. And this time, there's not much pressure in that situation or in that position, so they're going to have to be quick to identify that, rotate a player back up the stairs and watch Palace, because this should be a front sight take.
Should be. North Well, drop all the grenades they have, the smokes, the flashbangs, the Molotovs coming through, but Kicker, you can see, didn't really have much to deal with there. Still lose the jaws, so much damage inflicted by the CT. Yet to find a kill. Buster will open things up, and it's Kiabi to answer back. Jame with vision of everything but the planter, it seems, as they fall back now with the advantage in the 4-on-3.
Flash to CT, Jame not caught by that, but already looking to try and reposition to back away ever so slightly. 3-on-3, still a chance for this. Crizzen finds Cadian, who is lurking over toward Catwalk, perhaps trying to catch anyone that wanted to retreat early and save weapons, because that still looks to be on the agenda for Avangar. So North to find 12-9. Not a bad shot to find AZ as well, getting more weapons out of the hands of North despite the win.
So yes, just to be clear, it's a guaranteed round for North at this point, but Avangar actually did a good job of taking a few players down with them. 3 of them survive as well. Their money's in a pretty difficult spot, so that's the right call to make. There could be a case to be made that they could have gone for a retake there and gone right down to the wire, but you're better off just saving the weaponry there, especially when the money's so tight. It was not looking favorable for them. So North will take the victory, but it cost them a couple of players towards the end as well. Their money's not going to be in the healthiest of states, but that's ringing true for both teams at this point as the reinvestments come through. We'll see where it sits after what looks to be a timeout. We'll have a look. There we go. We can have a look at the cash right now. So it's going to be, yes, there it is, North. After winning the round, you can see 3 of them fully invested. And we can see Fitch has purchased into the round, leaving himself with $50 there. So discussing their options here. If you're not aware, maybe you haven't been following the minor/major system, it was North who came crashing down all the way through to the last chance and didn't make it. A long week of games for them as well. So many ups and downs, and didn't quite make it through to the next round. Changes to be made potentially. Who knows what happens after this major map? There's going to be so many roster changes. I feel like it might be one of the most significant windows of opportunity we've had for teams in quite some time. It seems to be so many different storylines of all these different orgs just waiting for the major cycle to finish and see what happens.
Shot out from Kicker to start things off on a Deagle. AZ to perish at the hands of it. Bomb was intentionally left behind so they could peek onto B. No response, however, from North. Buster stays in the corner. That allows Fitch to play a little bit closer, both to Catwalk and inside of the site to watch the windows and get information for his teammate. Set up toward connector as well. 1 to watch underpass if anyone arrives late. Just we know it on the radar is certainly a possibility. James got coverage therefore and security measures in place. If anyone were to sneak out, they'd be taken down. He's able to peek mid without any detriment. Manages to do exactly that to find a 2-man advantage on the CT side. Certainly they can pull this back. Cadian tagged through the smoke as well onto 16.
It's not looking too good for North at this point. Remember, this is a very influential round. Whoever picks this one up will shatter the economy of their opposition. It's looking very likely to be Avangar at this point. Cadian, 5-on-1. Nothing really to speak of in terms of opportunity. He's got an AK, 15 HP, a couple of flashes, and no time. Jame, well, just a PD-50 can close it out right now. He's got nothing to lose, really, and he'll actually get the frag. 3 of them in total, and pick himself up an AK-47 to close things out. A bit of a disastrous round there for North. Didn't really go well for them whatsoever. That could actually level things up with the amount of recovery required at this point. We will see. As it could be another tactical timeout at this point. If you're not aware, we've got a lovely octagon here. I was expecting a bit more of some rivalries to be going on, a bit of fun, a bit of banter perhaps. They're right opposite each other in that octagon, but no one really standing up and giving it what we expected, a bit of screaming, maybe some banter as well, but they're being very professional now. You've got to respect as well, as we'll have North with the full eco at this point. Glocks, P250s, 1 smoke, 1 flash, get the bomb down. That is pretty much all they can really hope for here.
Nade does do a bit more damage than I expected, mostly due to the fact that there's no armor on the north side.
That's a
little deep, but you're right, already inside of the site. They'll get a bomb plant out of it. Adding more economy to the next round at the very least as Fitch takes down Gade. Watch for Jamie's playing very passively, waiting for his teammates with the rifles to get positioned instead. Does not want to give up that AWP. More importantly, give up the CT steps, as it would make the retake significantly harder. Firebox is named that for a reason, but nade out. It's immediately taken down. Jame had to hit it reasonably skill-worthy shot up close on the AWP. Smoke on the bomb. They want to go for the defuse immediately, and they should be able to do so with rite of passage, given that they've taken down Palace. They'll find one on the flank. There's two in that position. Watch out. Smoke in position. Volda didn't actually go for it. I thought Volda might peek that. I thought he might have the lineup available to the headshot.
That got very uncomfortable. Fair play to North. Very simple play there. The fact that you get one smoke, one flash, get a plant down, and actually comes right down to the wire. Got to respect it, really. As now the scoreline gets closer and closer. North were looking quite comfortable at 1 point, but as soon as that financial status we discussed earlier was shattered, it looks like we'll have Avangar bringing it right back. The incendiary throwing to block the smoke at the start of the round there. And it will be Valda, the star player of North, making his way towards the A-bomb site. Takes down the first player defending, and now they have a huge advantage. Fully commit on this one. You've got everyone here. You've got an advantage, but they are getting flashed off, and Buster trying to rectify the situation.
Buster's looking both sides of the box. Does find the bomb in the hands of Gade. That gets dropped temporarily, but I think that's really to no avail at this point. It's a bit futile to try and win out the rounds for Fitch. In a 1-on-4, smoke down. Wanted to try and find a one-way gap inside of it. Couldn't do so.
Now that's the kind of round I want to see from North. You have got so much star power within this team. Some of the greatest aimers in Denmark, right? We want to see them just grouped up, bullying their opposition and hitting fantastic shots. That's what we've come to expect when they play such slow CS, and it kind of looks tiring for them. That's when you start to get a bit worried. But when they can drop those sort of strategies, that's what I feel like they're going to do the most damage. As they get in there, hit the shots, and not many CSGO players can take them on pound for pound in terms of those sort of duels. We go for a double orb setup here on the CT side of Mirage. Gade will be getting himself in a comfortable position, throws a flashbang, but Buster actually eats it, but stays strong. But will he pull back? No, he will not. Gade looking for the double kill here. This is a great call from Cadian as they're looking for the second kill towards short. Gade, maybe an overcommitment by himself. He did get flashed through. Still a 4-on-4 to bomb down, so should still be their round. We'll see how that transpires as Fitch might be calling the full back here. We'll see if they want to go for this retake. I don't think they want anything to do with it.
It's a possible call considering the situation economically. You can't afford to lose this round. At the same time, it's a 4-on-4, so you'd potentially consider it. The problem is B is very difficult to get back into, and when you've already lost any ground or information inside of the site directly, you're really gambling to try and get back into it. Odds are dead even at this point, and so too is going to be our score on a little bit of a spread, 14-11, but still anyone's game, certainly. More importantly, they keep the op alive on the CT side.
There you have it. North touching distance now, but 4 players surviving. Just to note, James 26 kills at the very top. Valda, as we'd expect, to start with 23. Managed to get the opening kill on the previous round as well. One more do it for North. It's a guarantee overtime. It's a bit of a pressure valve. Allows you to use the extra space you're giving yourself to maybe close it out in an emphatic manner. We'll see which way they are inclined as we get into round number 26 here. Orgs are out. The orb for James, which has been a thorn in the side of North here. And the smoke. Ooh, spotted the shoulder of a player there. He'll fire the shot presumably any second now. Waiting for it. Waiting for it. There it is. Always worth a go.
Prison's going to work his way back up behind the smoke inside of Connector. Very passive angle. He wants them to walk toward his crosshair. Walk and key. Caribbean gets up close to watch off Cat as well. So pretty default setup on both sides at this point. James, in fact, getting very passive at this point, knowing that without any information toward Connector, there's a chance they could slip out from the underpass, try and go for the boost. The smoke down the reason for that, so he just allows them, almost concedes that position, but also puts himself, keep in mind, in a position to rotate quickly to B with that AWP. In fact, he's already gone. He's already there. So that'll strengthen B. Weakens up middle, allows more execution potential for North, but they're playing inside of the sites directly. I say that, and then Volda actually finds James. AWP gone already. It's encouraging for B, but again, this is a default. They're playing picks. North just want to try and whittle down the defense before any commitment. Bomb drop back near spawn for exactly that reason.
You can see the odds now dead even, provided by GG.BET. Avangar came in as the favorites, but North certainly closing the gap in that regard. It's now a 5-on-4. Molotov's deployed. We're going to have Orgs and an M4 to defend. Bust up, decent position, but Molotov's out of it. He'll have to play up close and personal now as he nails the first shot. Can he find a second kill? Absolutely can. Players all around him, but he's exceeding expectations here as Cadian is left in a 3 versus 1. How they managed to pull that one off, I have no idea. Molotov off, smoked out of position at the Org close range, busts against 2 kills, and somehow lives to tell the tale. Excellent work from him. Frustrating one for North. It looked like they had the opening kill, the execution, everything was going so well. Just the final hurdle there is where they can't break open the A sites. And in terms of cash, they're still good for another buy here, especially with one weapon being saved. But still fighting strong. Avangar not out of it just yet. 14-12 overall. First map of this best of 3. We saw the first game of the day go the full distance. Wouldn't be surprised if this one does as well. As we take a tactical timeout, I believe this is for North. As they discuss their options here, they have purchased the AWP. And we'll see how they want to try and get that 15th on the board.
It's a tough situation to be in, certainly at this point, with the economic situation being so fragile. North have certainly had issues as of late. Take every opportunity they can. New coach. I would expect this to be a lot of the timeouts. We saw him have a pretty healthy-looking notebook already.
A dossier, yeah.
Right, but given that he came into this team, a day ago, he's not had any time to implement any of his theory. He's still learning as much about the players as they are about him. Presumably, they would have known the change was coming before it was announced officially, so he would have had some time to work with them, and he hinted toward that in the interview, but it's not like he's going to be able to vocalize himself quite so cleanly and clearly in these timeouts.
Absolutely.
So a lot more pressure on Cadian in that regard. Fast play seems to be the call from North after this timeout. In fact, they're going to put pressure immediately onto Catwalk. Smokes down both window and connector to allow it. Very passive at ladder. Now that becomes a factor because that means the rotation from Buster is going to be immediately on them. He's already got their backs exposed. They didn't even consider checking it. 2 kills for him. Bomb goes down. And Avangar looking to clean out the round as a result of it. But Kjærby not making that easy. Finds Krisen. Still they have to work backwards to find the position on Cats. AZ lurking, managing to do it for them.
Great shot from AZ there. Looks obviously quite easy, but the fact if he misses one of those bullets, he's going to go down. Cadian looking to solidify things here. It's Jame with the orb. They know it now as well. The HP not a factor as Kjærby looks to find that killing blow. 1 minute remaining. They don't have to commit to this, but it looks like the job is done. Jame will be doing nothing about this. Might just want to consider saving at this point. The money's not great. He knows he's probably going down at this point if the bomb is planted. That makes his chances of winning the round almost absolute 0. As he'll hold up, just waiting for any mistakes. They're going to assume he has fallen back. Now, Matt, there is a slight chance they do assume that, and he goes for this somehow. He could somehow sneak in and go for a defuse. I don't think that's a play he's making, but he's got the incendiary. If they fell away through towards short, he incendiaries the apartments, goes for a defuse. If that's his play right now, I'll be impressed, but I very much doubt it. As we'll see him exiting off, he's just going to be going for some frags here. And indeed, he will save the AWP. So just want to make sure he's absolutely fine to leave the bomb site, try and get some exits. And that's exactly what will happen, apart from not getting any kills towards the end. But North have found round number 15, a very, very fast approach towards shore there. Getting up there quickly, almost fell apart without checking the ladder initially, and then already having the awareness for the backstab there. 2 kills came in, but the bomb got planted, and well recovered from North. They're looking on track now to pick up this first map.
Certainly are with 1 to go. Best of 3s all day. We saw an already extremely surprising result as Heroic with a new lineup, first land for them, take down world number 2 in Na'Vi. 3 maps in doing so. Third one went the distance, but it was a 13-2 half to start it off in favor of Heroic. So Na'Vi extremely unimpressive in many ways.
Indeed.
This one a lot more even coming into it. And trying to bait a peek potentially toward A main. That's why the op positioned as it were. Just 2 pistols to go along with 3 guns bought up, and one of them being an SMG, one of them being the weakest of the rifles.
It's Jame alone in that B bomb site. He has the AWP. He's found an absolute boatload of kills so far. If they do head towards that B bomb site, he's going to need a few more. 26 to his name so far. A split looking likely though, and that's the only position the orb's not at. Where will they finish up? It's Very back and forth right now from North. Needs to make an assertive call quickly. Time ticking away as we get to the 45-second mark. It looks like it might potentially be B-bomb site here. Molotov and smokes down. Remember, the AWP is in this spot. If he hits his first shot, he absolutely does, he's got a chance to find a few more. They're going to fall back towards A, and that cost them time.
Already working out from Connector. You're right, they have to fall back, they have to rotate. I think he just spotted ahead of Fitch. He certainly will spot him as he crosses back inside of the site, trying to spray through the box. Can't quite find the right angle in the gap. It's Cadian and AZ. Now Kjærby to step it back up, and North going to close out the map. AZ looked impressive the whole way through, I have to say, and it's 15-12 in the